All right, folks, welcome back to the Creating an Animatronic Horror Bear series. Um, we're slowly putting this guy together. So to get started, let's make sure our workspace says General and then reset the current workspace. Then go to File, Set Project, find your Fred project and hit Set. Then go ahead and do File, Open Scene, open Fred 8. Which we worked on last time, and then do a file save scene as, and let's call this Fred 9. All right, so in this video, we are going to work on, I go to front view, we are going to work on this little hinge here, and then put something together for the kneecap. If we look at the side view, that little kneecap actually goes through all the way. And I'm thinking we may connect the kneecap to this little ball joint, mainly because if we bend our knee ourselves, the little tip of our knee kind of bends down wherever the foot goes. It doesn't just stay in one spot, it goes with it. So I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to pull this piece off of here. So let's go ahead and do that first. So I'm going to go into perspective view real quick. Or actually, no, let's go front view. And I'm going to go to face mode. And I want to just look at the front view and grab the faces that kind of line up with that kneecap. And then I'm going to go to, I think, my side view, do Control E, and I'm going to go to perspective because I want to make sure I grab the correct one. Pull that out. And then with the faces selected, I'm going to do kind of a rotate with my rotate tool a little bit to kind of line them up a little better with my front view. All right. And so that's kind of a real basic shape for it. Now we're going to see if we can make it look a little bit better for us. Go ahead. I'm going to move the move tool, select the move tool and push it back some, pull it up some. And then what I think I will do is, I think I'm going to go ahead and go to object mode. Make sure my drop down is modeling. I'm going to go to mesh tools, insert edge loop. I'm going to kind of put an edge loop where I think that bend is. Maybe another one down here. I may even go with one in the middle. That way I can then go to edge mode. I'm going to just grab these edges in the front here for this guy, for that middle line. I'm going to pull them out, go to the next level. Pull that out. Then we go to the next one and pull that out, just kind of lining them up with the side view. Then I want it to be more of a circular shape, so I'm going to go ahead and go to vertex mode. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and just grab all of them on the front here. So I'm going to grab my selection so nothing gets in the way. And grab all these vertices real quick. Hold shift, select your vertices all the way around. I'm gonna make sure I didn't accidentally select anything over here. All right, so now I'm gonna grab my scale tool, and in the front view, I'm gonna scale it down some, get it closer to what that image looks like. Well, maybe up a little, and then I'm gonna move it, trying to get it lined up better with my shape there. Maybe scale up a little because it's a little bigger that way, and then over. All right, and now what I'm gonna do is just start, I think I'm gonna deselect the middle ones here. Or actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and start doing small amounts at a time. Grab these corner ones, grab my scale tool, bring them in to try to create a circular pattern. Then I'm gonna hold shift, grab these two next to that one, these two next to that one, these two, and these two. And I'm gonna scale some more. Just to start creating a circular pattern for it. All right, now I will try to, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go to vertex mode. Shift select each of the vertices again in the middle. So if you accidentally click a wrong one, make sure to shift click it to deselect it. So you don't want to accidentally do anything to one you did not intend to. All right, with those selected, I'm gonna see what holding shift, right click and choose average vertices does. Doesn't look bad. I may do face mode. Select these faces. Looks a little odd from perspective, but I'm going to rotate my view real quick and make sure what it looks like from. Actually, it doesn't look that bad from perspective now that I'm looking straight on. So it is a little smaller, so we may want to pull those out some. I like the curve though, so I'm going to scale that guy up and just pull it down, trying to get it to match up with the side view. So again, this, when the leg pivots, it'll pivot down with the leg, kind of like if you bend your knee, that point on your knee bends down with it. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. If you want, some of the things you could do, um, for instance, these are kind of close. So what I could do is maybe pull down, and you'll notice we have kind of a droop down there in front of our lower part of the leg right here. So we could go under here, grab these front vertices. Or you know what? Let's try this. I'm gonna actually go edge mode and select this edge all the way around. And in side view, just gonna rotate it some more. And then I'm gonna pull it down some. Let's see what that looks like. I think that actually will work. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, so there's our kneecap. Now, some other things you could do if you wanted on the side here to do anything. If you go to select it, go to mesh tools, insert edge loop. You can put an edge loop all the way around. Then you could grab edge mode, select it. Maybe you want to scale it down some to create kind of a little that differentiator of it. You could do that. That way it kind of stands out a little more from the rest. You could push that connector back so it's closer to this part of the leg so that it really sets off that kneecap as its own separate piece. So that's something you could do. So kind of up to you. I'm going to leave that, I think, actually with it. And then I'm going to go to, we got to do this back piece. So what I'll do is I'm going to pivot around here. I'm just kind of looking for the back of the leg. Oops. Nope. I'm going to grab my selection tool just so I don't accidentally grab anything else. If I'm looking straight on from the back, that kind of works. Now we did a lot more on the front, but I don't think the back needs to be as big. I think those 9 in the center will work. If you want, you could go down a little further, but I think I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to do from the side view, Control E. And actually, I'm going to look at the side view, but I'm going to pull with this blue one from the perspective. Pull it out like that, and then I'm going to scale it up. I think I'm going to pull it down some as well. And I'm gonna, I think, actually scale down some, just because when it does pivot, it's gonna go up into here. So I may even have to modify this top leg a little bit so that if it comes up, it can look like it's going in there without actually cutting the object. All right, then I'm gonna go kind of do the same thing we did previously. I'm gonna grab vertices on the corners. Gonna grab my scale tool, scale them inward, then grab the ones closest to it, which in this case would be all of them. Scale again. And then I'm gonna shift click, select these others, hold shift down, right click and hold and do average vertices. I'm gonna do face mode again. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out some. Maybe even pull it down based off of what I'm seeing here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do object mode and do another mesh tool, insert edge loop. Put it kind of closer to here. Go to edge. Shift click that edge. I think I'm going to scale that down to make it look like it's coming off of there. Pull it a little closer. I think that'll work. And if we want, in the side view, I could grab all of my vertices. Actually, I'm going to grab these 4 vertices first. Pull them out a little to create the little curve shape. And then I'll shift click all of these again. Hold shift, right click and hold, average again. All right. So there we have it. Now we've got kind of our kneecap. We've got our kneecap ready to go. And so now we're going to put this little gear. And for right now, we're just going to make it its own separate object. And then we'll see what we can do with it in another video. But what I'll do for it is make sure I'm on the poly modeling, choose the cylinder, which makes a pretty good size cylinder, bring it up. Let's go ahead and scale that guy down, bring it up some more. And then we want to basically rotate it. And I'm going to pull up my channel box so you can see it. We want to rotate it to where the top is facing us. So I'm going to just do rotate Z, change that to 90, and it'll put it to facing us. Then I'm going to line it up in my side view, kind of around where the center here gets on the center of that little dot, as close as possible. Then in the front view, we want to pull it over and get it kind of centered on there. And so now I need to get it across the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and scale it up. But I think I'm going to keep it from poking out of our joint there. I'm going to keep where the bigger part is, I'm going to keep it from poking out. Actually, no, let's go ahead and scale it up some so I can see it. And then we can move stuff in a minute. All right. So then what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go to face mode, grab my selection tool, select all these faces. Hit Control E, grab my scale block and scale proportionately to the center. I'm trying to kind of scale. I think I'm going to go to this gray one right there. All right, and then I will pull that out to kind of the edge of this one. Go to the edge of here. Then I will go back to edge mode, shift click this edge. I'm going to pull that back to where it's kind of inside of the shape. Then let's go around to the other side. Let's go to face mode. I'm going to grab my selection tool just so it hides the little gizmo that allows you to move stuff. I don't want to move anything until I've got them all selected. Then I'm going to hit Control E, grab, let's see, we want to move it this way. Then we're going to scale it down to kind of match that one. And then I'm going to go to edge mode. Oh, make sure you're not hovering over the wrong one when you do that. Go to edge mode. Shift click this edge. Let's go ahead and bring it back in. All right. And then what I think I'm going to do is make sure that one's in there. Then I'm going to shift click this edge. But also I need to worry about this. So what I'm going to do is actually change it up. I'm going to go to vertex mode and drag a box around all those vertices so I get the center one. And you know what? Actually, let's hold off on that just yet. Let's do something else first. We're going to try to create this little indentation shape first on both sides. So I'm going to go to face mode with those faces selected. I'm going to go Control E, hit the scale tool and scale it down. Then I'm going to hit Control E again, and I'm going to extrude it in. Hit Control E again, grab your scale tool, scale it down, then Control E. And this time I'm going to pull it out some. That way it creates this little gear looking shape. Then I'm going to go around to the other side, select all of these. You'll notice I have, for some reason, it's again got the faces for the other side selected, but it's all right. Control E, scale, bring it down. Control E, bring it in. Control E, scale it down. Control E, bring it back. You can have it come out. You can have it stop on the inside. It's kind of you decide. Go back to object mode. I'm just going to pull that object out real quick. See what it looks like on all sides. Okay, that'll work for me. So I'm Control Z to put it back. Now we are going to kind of make it match up with this shape. So I'm going to go to vertex mode, drag a box around all those, and grab my rotate, and I'm going to rotate it down some, drag it into place, drag another box, rotate it, drag it into place. And let's just see if it looks pretty good. I think it'll work. Once we add color to it, we'll be able to see what else we might need to do to it. But I think it will work for what we're trying to do. So next, save us some time. I'm going to go ahead and actually let's do these things real quick. We're going to do some cleanup real fast. Over here, our sphere 2, that is our waist. I'm going to hit this clear history, freeze, modify. I'm going to call that waist. Select this one, the cube. Let's call it our foot. Then we'll call this leg hinge. And we're going to select the leg hinge and hit Control D. We're going to call it arm hinge. So now the arm one, I'm going to go ahead and drag that up in my front view. Try to move it into place. Now, obviously, it's too big for what we're trying to do with the arm. So I'm going to try to put it into place. Scale it down a hair this way so I can get it to match more of the side view. Then over here in the front view, scale it down this way, kind of make it fit in there. And I do not like that it's sticking out like that, so we're going to scale it down even more to make sure we can get it inside of there. And we're going to do some rotating as well. All right, so we're going to do some few modifications to make it work a little better. So I'm going to go to vertex mode, drag a box around here, around these ones. And I'm going to look at my perspective, perspective view some. I'm going to rotate it to where I can kind of fit it inside of that arm and the bottom one at the same time. That means I may have to push it back some. Then I'm going to go to the other side of it, see what that looks like. Bring that in and down. And we could, let's go to object mode. I'm going to hide the torso so I can see a little easier. Grab some object mode and I'm going to pull it forward some. That way it sits more in the center. So now that I did that, this one might need to come forward some. So I'm going to go vertex mode again. Object mode. Grab all those, pull them forward, then out, and then I'll rotate it over some. Then we'll look at this side again. I think this side doesn't look too bad. And again, we'll do some adjusting once we start applying color and can tell the difference and see also when we start bending them with a rig so we can see how they're going to move. But I think this will work for right now. All right, so now we've got his little elbow hinge, his hinge, his kneecaps, his feet. So we're getting pretty close. Real quick before we finish this video, let's try to, because I noticed after we finished the waist, our waist is really skinny compared to our example. So one thing I'm going to do is go to edge mode. I'm going to grab this front edge. So I'm going to select the first one, shift click the last. I'm going to pull it up some to line it up with that one. And then I'm going to scale it out. I may even bring it down a little. And then I will grab this interior edge. Oops. I'm going to pull that up some so it's not quite that bowl shape in there. Then I'm going to use a tool, symmetry here. So I'm going to turn this down to Object X. And what it's going to do is if I grab a point, an edge, a vertex, a face, it'll grab, as long as it's a symmetrical object, it'll grab the one on the opposite side. So I'm going to grab this one and let's go ahead and grab all of these around here to about here. Then up here, all the way around to about here. And that'll grab the other side. Then if we move it, it'll move that side as well. I'm going to move it enough to get to where this matches up. Then I'm going to grab uh, let's grab this one. No, not that one. Or actually, yeah, let's grab that one. We'll bring it down to line up with that point. Grab the next two in line. Bring them down. Then the next two, we'll just kind of keep working our way around. Now, once we get to here, we start overlapping some, so we're gonna have to play around with that some. And then we'll also have to, especially on the back side and the front side, do some modifying to get them to stop overlapping the legs. I'm guessing where they are, and it's getting lucky to grab them. This one I may move a little bit backwards. Same thing here. Then the same thing on the back side. Try to get the ones that disappeared inside. That was the wrong one. And if you have to, just it's going to be tougher, but you can hide that object, but then you won't know where it's overlapping at. All right, so now his little waist is a little better, but here I don't really like this. So what I'm going to do is go to vertex mode, shift click those vertices. We're going to first try to do a mesh display soften edge. See what that looks like. Still kind of has a blemish there. So I'm going to go back to vertex mode. And then I'm going to try to do shift, right click and hold average vertices. And this little area is where we're going to have to tweak some, I think, because it's not liking the geometry there. So you just pull those in and up a little. Yeah, and that's starting to clean it up. So we'll have to tweak that a little bit, but I think we can make that work. So at least his waist is now kind of the right proportions. We'll continue to tweak it as we go, but all right. So now I'm going to do a file, save scene, and we will in the next video probably work on maybe getting the shoulder finalized so it connects to the body. Let me go to the torso and turn it back on real quick. So I'm going to select it, press H. We will, yeah, I think the next video we'll do his stomach texture or the stomach design, and then this shoulder piece to connect it. And that way we'll be able to move forward. All right, so do another file save. We'll see you in the next video.